Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nation's SH Figuarts Civil War Ant-Man. So what is going on, everybody? How is everyone doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Ant-Man, and this is a figure I'm pretty excited for. He is one of my favorite characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it looks like Tamashii Nations really did a dope job with this figure, but there is a few disappointing things about it, so let's get into the review and start off with the packaging for Ant-Man. So Ant-Man does come in a smaller size box, but it is the same style as the Civil War Captain America and Mark 46 Iron Man. We do get the window right there, says SH Figuarts Ant-Man, Marvel Captain America Civil War, Marvel Tamashii Nations, and Bandai. The bottom of it doesn't have the barcode and blah 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 stuff, it actually says SH Figuarts Team Captain America and Ant-Man, and then we do get an image of Ant-Man right there, and then there's the top of the box there, and then the one side of the box, and then the other side there. And then the back of the packaging shows a bunch of different poses you can get the figure into along with his limited accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure open and take a closer look at Ant-Man. Alrighty, so taking a closer detailed look at Ant-Man here. And Tamashii Nations really did a fantastic job with the detail. The sculpt looks great and the paint's pretty good for the most part. Let's take a better look at Ant-Man's mask here, and this is probably one of my favorite parts about the figure. That mask really looks dope. The only issue I have, if you look at his eyes, they did paint it red, but the left one, they only wanted to paint half of it red. So that's actually pretty disappointing, and kind of pissed me off a little bit. So that's one thing I don't like about the paint, but the rest of the paint looks dope on the mask. I love that metallic silver, that looks awesome. And the paint's pretty damn good on it. Nice clean paintwork. So nice job on the Ant-Man helmet here. Looks really cool. I like this helmet. I don't know if I like the one from his movie better or the Civil War one better. Now the torso here, they did a very nice job with the paint. Just this red piece, I think they missed a little bit of the red up over here, because that one looks more clean on that side. It's a tiny little paint issue. Sculpt work looks great all throughout it. And like I said, the paint's pretty clean for the most part. Nice sculpt work up around the upper chest there. And then the back, that piece looks cool. The paint really does look great on it. Now for the arms, shoulder pad pieces look good. Great sculpt work. Inside of the arm, really not much going on there. Pretty cool looking. I mean, they did a very nice job. The belt looks dope. Once again, clean paintwork all throughout it. And for the legs here, I do think, yeah, over here they did put a little too much red paint, like in this little spot at the top. I mean, very minor, so it's not that big of a deal. Knee pad pieces look good. Lower legs. I mean, very nice job. Tamashii Nations usually always comes through with the paint and the sculpt. We do have these two pieces, like hanging over the ankles, and they do hinder some ankle articulation. Not much, but they do hinder it, because they are like a little softer type of plastic. Here's the Ant-Man feet. Do get treads on the bottom. I mean, overall, this is probably my favorite part about the figure is the detail. Tamashii Nations really did an awesome job with the paint and sculpt. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, and this is one of the biggest disappointing things about this figure. As you can see, we barely get anything included with Ant-Man. And what else sucks is he was the same price as Civil War Cap and Iron Man. So why wasn't he a little bit cheaper if we got barely any accessories? I don't understand that. And then the other big disappointing thing about this figure is they didn't even sculpt or paint the red buttons on his hands. That's like including Iron Man without his repulsor blast on his hands or having his arc reactor on his chest. So I don't get what Tamashii Nations was thinking. I feel like they were just a little too lazy making this figure. I mean, they could have included an unmasked head, like Captain America, or they could have included a bunch of tiny Ant-Mans in all different poses. I mean, you know that barely costed any money for that tiny little Ant-Man. And they could have included an accessory where he's going to press on the button to either make himself grow or shrink, but they didn't sculpt or paint on the red buttons on any of his hands. So those are the two main big disappointments about this Ant-Man figure. But we do get a tiny little Ant-Man included with him, and they actually did do a nice job with it, and the paint is actually pretty damn good on it too. The only disappointing thing is they didn't fully paint the back of the figure. There's some red missing on there, so that does kind of suck. But it is cool that we do get a tiny little Ant-Man. So we do get that, and then we also get 4 interchangeable hands, so we get a pair of fists. Let's focus the camera here so we can get a better look at them. But very nice sculpt work on these, and very nice paint work as well. Nice clean paint where the silver meets the black, and I really dig that metallic silver. It looks awesome. I mean, I just don't understand. Why couldn't Tamashii Nations just sculpt a tiny little red button and paint it red? I really don't understand that. I mean, that just sucks. But the sculpt and paint look awesome on these hands. So we do get a pair of fists. And then the other pair of hands is some open hands. And they did some very nice sculpt work on the palms. I really like all those sculpted lines on there. That looks awesome. And the top of the hands, nice sculpt and paint work. Nice clean paint where the silver meets the black. But anyway, those are all the accessories included with Ant-Man. Like I said, that was the 2 biggest disappointing things about this Ant-Man. The limited amount of accessories and no red buttons on his hands. But anyway, let's continue on with the rest of the review. Now for the height of Tiny Ant-Man and the regular Ant-Man. It looks like the Tiny Ant-Man is a ½ inch tall, and then regular Ant-Man stands about 6 inches tall. And then here they are compared to the Variable Action Heroes Monkey D. Luffy figure and the Good Smile Company Figma Adventures Hulk figure. And Ant-Man does stand a little bit shorter than Civil War Cap and Iron Man. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Harley Quinn figure and the Mafex Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice Batman figure. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Awakening Warrior Super Saiyan Goku figure and the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta figure. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for Ant-Man's articulation, we get 1 point at the upper neck and 1 at the lower neck. So the upper neck joint, his head can look up a good amount and then looks down a decent amount as well. We do get slight pivot at the upper neck joint, and then it does swivel as well. The lower neck joint goes back and forth, does pivot, and also swivels. So we do get some pretty good movement at both those neck joints. Then we get a point of articulation under the chest here, and it only goes forward. Oh, it goes forward a lot more than that. So it does go forward a decent amount. Goes to the back pretty good. Do get a little bit of pivot, and it also swivels. Now, when I first got this figure, his waist joint was in the wrong spot, so I thought my Ant-Man figure was like that, and I was actually furious about it and thought the figure sucked. But it was actually popped out of place, so I had to just push the joint up a little bit, and now it's perfectly fine. But it does go forward about that much, and then back about that much. We do get some pivot, and it also swivels. So nice movement at the waist and torso articulation. The shoulder pads are on hinges, very similar to like the Iron Man SH Figuarts. The shoulders, we have a nice butterfly joint that goes back and forth, and it also goes up and down, and then we get a nice armpit joint in there. So nice movement at the shoulder. Then the arms go out to the sides, about 90 degrees, so that's good. They do go up and down. We do get the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend in pretty much all the way, so that's cool. And then for the wrists, they do swivel and they hinge back and forth. So nice movement throughout the entire arm, all the way through the wrists. Now for the legs, we get the shifting Tamashii Nation leg joints, so you could shift them down and get more movement out of the leg. Kicks forward about 90 degrees, goes to the back a decent amount, and then kicks out to the side a little less than 90 degrees. Then we do get swivel, actually 2 points of swivel, all the way up like in the leg joint there, and then right at the upper thigh. Now the knees, they are double jointed knees, they bend back all the way, so that's always good. Now for the ankles, they do swivel, but like I said, they will get hindered a little bit by these side pieces. They hinge up a real good amount, and then hinge down a real good amount too, and then we do get some very nice pivot there, and toe articulation. So overall, we do get some beautiful movement with this Ant-Man figure, and I am very satisfied with the articulation. But overall, I do recommend this figure, especially if you're a big Marvel fan, you love the SH Figuarts line, or if Ant-Man is one of your favorite characters. Definitely pick this one up without a doubt. Tamashii Nations really did an incredible job with it. Yeah, there's a few flaws, but overall, it's an amazing Ant-Man figure. So I do highly recommend this. The few flaws and complaints I have with this piece, the main one is the limited amount of accessories. Plus, Tamashii Nations charge the same price as the Civil War Cap and Iron Man. That's kind of like a smack in the face, but it's a big letdown and very disappointing. The other main issue I have with this figure is Tamashii Nations was too lazy and cheap to put tiny little red buttons on the interchangeable hands. I mean, how do you forget that with an Ant-Man figure? That's how he uses his ability. So that's another big disappointment about this figure. But other than that, Tamashii Nations did a fantastic job with the rest of this figure. The sculpt was executed extremely well, and the paint was pretty good for the most part. Minor paint issues here and there, but not too bad. And the articulation works great. All the joints flow nicely on this figure, so I'm very happy now owning a badass Ant-Man. And if you would like to get this Civil War Ant-Man for your collection, he does retail for about $55 through $70 depending on where you purchase it. I got mine from agelessgeeks.com, so if you would like to get yours, head over to that website today. But anyway, that is my review of the SH Figuarts Civil War Ant-Man. Hope you enjoyed my review. If you want to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, and favorite the video too. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up anyway, because action figures are awesome. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. So Ant-Man comes in a smaller size box, but it is the same style as the So we get some smaller size. The bottom of it is the blah 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 stuff, and it does say a few things actually. And Mark 46 Iron Man does say The bottom of it doesn't have a blah 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 blah. Bottom says Marvel, Captain America, Civil War, Marvel, Tamashii Nations, blah 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 blah. Forgot what I was gonna say. I mean, they could have included now for the height of Ant-Man and Tiny Ant-Man. It looks like the Tiny Ant-Man is in half an. And it looks like the Tiny Ant-Man is in half. Now for the height of Ant-Man and Tiny Ant-Man. So what is going on, everybody? How is everyone doing today? The hell am I doing?